Hi everyone, welcome to this week's science video with myself, Becca from the North East Autism Society and Tony and Danny from the Life Science Centre Newcastle.
Hello.
Hi. So this week it looks like we're going to be doing something with twigs and flowers from what I can see on Tony's table there. So can you tell us a bit more about what we're going to be doing today, please?
Yeah, I was having a walk recently in the park. I was down by the river and I was watching people, throwing sticks in and floating them along, and some people had like toy boats and stuff like that. And I thought, what if we kind of combined that and made our own boat using things that we find in the park? Uh, but before we do that, we need to think what materials are good to make a boat. What properties does a boat need to have? Any ideas? Any thoughts?
Well, it needs to float on water.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, definitely something that floats.
Guess you would also need something that wasn't going to like disintegrate and break apart in the water if it got wet. Something that won't
Yeah, that's very true. You don't want your boat to crumble when it gets soggy, like a tissue paper or a biscuit. A biscuit boat wouldn't be very good. I guess as well you want it to keep its shape because it might be waterproof, but it might be kind of a bit floppy. So that wouldn't be good for a boat. It would always kind of change its shape and sink or something. Okay, so we need things that can keep their shape, aren't gonna crumble when they get wet or fall apart, and most importantly, something that floats. So I think I'm gonna make my boat out of sticks.
I've got some sticks too.
I've also got some pieces of grass. I think that would be useful.
Grass.
And I've also thought it'd be quite nice to get some maybe like leaves and things like that and see what we can do with them.
Leaves.
And I see you've
And
got
to have a flower too.
Yeah, I see you've got a nice flower. Okay, let's see. So, first thing we're going to do is take a couple of pieces of grass and we're going to lay them separately but parallel to each other.
So we've both got quite long pieces of grass. Is that important, Danny?
It's going to help. We're going to use them to tie our boat together, so we want to have enough that it's movable. My bits of grass are quite thick, but thinner bits will work as well as long as they're long.
Okay.
All right.
Depending on what we have, it may be that there's lots of different smells at this point.
My grass feels a little bit sticky.
Yeah.
As well.
It definitely smells from the twigs. They smell very earthy and woody.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going to take our twigs and we're going to lay them across the grass so it's at right angles. So it's crossing both pieces of grass. We're going to do that with all of our twigs. Now, some of them might have extra bits of branches on that you need to snap off, or they might be a little bit curvy, so you might need to be a little bit careful how you arrange them and kind of maybe modify them a little bit, but see how it goes. I'm just laying them all out.
Some twigs can be quite sharp, can't they, and have thorns and things on.
Very good point, yeah. So that's something to watch out for.
I wonder, I guess we've chosen quite straight twigs as well, which makes this easier.
It does, although some of mine have got, like this one here has got some very interesting shapes, but amongst the whole bundle, it should be okay.
Mine is angled.
All right.
Do they need to lay side by side, or can we stack them up in like a bundle?
Mine are a little bit stacked. I started off laying them out, and then when it got to a good width, I started piling them on top a little bit as well and filling in the gaps and things like that. Okay, so now we're going to take our grass and fold it upwards around the twigs and then tie it in a knot to keep it all secure. We're going to have to be careful with this because the grass it's not as tough as, say, string would be. So if we're too rough with it, we might rip it, and then we'll need to do it all again with new grass. but it should be strong enough that you can get one good knot in, and then probably a double knot to secure it.
Sometimes knots can be quite fiddly, can't they, to do, so we might need a grown-up's help at this point.
Yes, definitely. Especially on that second knot when you're trying to keep it a bit more secure.
Yeah.
And you see, as I'm tying it, the bundles are getting a little bit tighter. The sticks are getting a little bit closer together, but they're mostly keeping the shape they had before. It's just keeping it all together.
Bundles.
Yeah, there we go. Mine's tied too. Okay. So we have the start of a boat, but it doesn't really look much like a boat at the minute. Maybe like a bit of a raft or something like that. But what could we do to make it look more like a boat? What features does a boat have that could be good to add?
What about a sail?
A sail, that's a good idea. Yeah, a big sail to catch the wind. But if we have a sail, we'll need a mast as well. So I have a few twigs left over that I didn't put into my boat. So you can get another twig, a fairly straight one, and kind of weave it into the gap. See if you can get it to fit into your boat. This might take a little bit of time. You might need to adjust the grass, keeping it all together, but there you go. That looks pretty stable. Oh no, there we go. This is all about kind of experimenting and fiddling with it to see what works best. There you go. That seems to be holding. This is why it's good to have some twigs that are a little bit different in shape. You can maybe find somewhere to wedge it in or something like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Got a mast, and then I'm going to take one of my really big leaves and use the stick to pierce it, to skewer through it, and then that can be our sail.
Ah, okay.
My stick wasn't very sharp on top, so it went on quite easily, but your stick might be a bit sharp and you just might need to be careful with that. Okay, so yeah, so my boat, we've got the base of the boat, and we've got its mast and its sail, but it's time now to do any extra additions you want. So if you've got flowers, you could add your flowers or other bits of leaf. I think I'm going to add another bit of grass to the bottom of my boat to secure it now I've added that mast to it. But just take a little bit more time and add more things until you're happy with how your boat looks. Okay, once you're happy with your boat, it's time to float it. So you could float it in the sink, you could go for the bath, or maybe a paddling pool if the weather's nice, or you could ask a grown-up if there's any natural water nearby, like a pond, and you could all go down together and test it out there.
There's a pond in the park near my house, so I might test it there. And I suppose it doesn't matter if it floats away because it's all natural materials, so we don't have to worry about needing to tidy them up afterwards.
Exactly, yeah. It all just go back into nature. If you happen to lose it, but it is important if you are thinking of going somewhere like a pond to make sure that you have an adult going with you, because you don't want to slip or fall in or anything like that.
Yeah, we need to be really careful around water. So thank you very much for that. They look great. Hopefully everyone enjoys this activity at home. If you take part, please send us your photos and videos. We'd love to see. But thank you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.